Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Well, after 5 years of going woke and targeting the brand, the iconic brand, Playboy, towards women, gay dudes, and members of the LGHD TV and body positivity movement, Playboy's kind of seen the error of their ways and have corrected course. For you younger guys out there, you probably don't realize what a big shift this is in the cultural movement. Playboy's been an iconic brand for affluent or aspiring affluent men for years. Unlike some of the magazines that are out there, Playboy targeted its demographic toward Hollywood, the famous, the elite, the rich, politicians, those with money, those who aspired to have money, and they did so in a classy way, unlike some of the other magazines like Hustler and those of its ilk that were basically just close-up shots of roast beef sandwiches. If you're unfamiliar with Playboy because you're a little bit younger, understand that Playboy had some of the most desired and attractive women posing in it, as well as some of the most popular men giving interviews. The joke was when somebody got caught with a Playboy magazine, people would say, "I don't look at the pictures, I just read it for the articles." Truth is, it was a very good magazine for up-to-date interviews and articles on popular current events and Hollywood actors. And this is before people hated Hollywood actors like they do today. Here's some famous women that were posed in there, and ironically, some of them were feminists. Of course, starting in the 1950s, there was Marilyn Monroe, Dolly Parton, Raquel Welch, Kim Basinger, Goldie Hawn, Madonna, Brooke Shields, Cindy Crawford, Pamela Anderson, Anna Nicole Smith, Carmen Electra, Jenny McCarthy, Farrah Fawcett, and Jamie Presley. Even woke feminists like Drew Barrymore and Charlize Theron, as well as Sharon Stone, posed in the magazine. In the 1960s, they interviewed people like Frank Sinatra, Salvador Dali, Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and Paul Newman. In the 70s, it was John Wayne, Clint Eastwood, Sylvester Stallone. 80s, Terry Bradshaw, Jackie Gleason, Arnold Schwarzenegger. In the 90s, Stephen Hawking, Donald Trump. That's right, I said Donald Trump. Carl Sagan, Snoop Dogg, and Bruce Willis. Even in 2018, they interviewed Tucker Carlson. And after that, all the interviews went away. They rebranded. They started showing men on the cover, those of the LGHD TV, the body positive movement like Lizzo. They catered to the woke writers' desires, not the people that actually read the magazine. And thus, after just a year, they no longer published their magazine. As a couple of days ago, Playboy has seen the errors of their way and are reversing course, once again trying to lure back the men that they once chastised. From the Daily Mail, Playboy returns to its roots after woke rebrand featuring a Lizzo centerfold, a LGHD TV playmate, and no spicy pictures. Playboy is going back to the basics following a woke rebrand that almost tanked the iconic brand for good. Not only has Playboy brought back its print magazine after a 5-year hiatus, it also reversed its prior ban on the saucy stuff after nixing its signature TNA spreads during the Also Me movement. Beauty influencer Lori Harvey, seen as the magazine's comeback cover girl, while glamorous guest model Jillian Nation appears in a fully spicy picture to celebrate being crowned the 2025 Playmate of the Year. Playboy's return to racy content and traditional beauty standard is a far cry from where the publication was just a few years ago. In 2017, just 1 month after the passing of Playboy's founder and editor-in-chief Hugh Hefner, the magazine featured its first LGHD TV playmate with French dude Inez Rao gracing the pages. Hefner's son Cooper, at then 26, said at the time, "It's the right thing to do. We're at the moment where gender roles are evolving." So obvious, Hugh Hefner, who I believe passed away in his mid-80s and was sleeping with 20-year-old hotties and probably had a couple of kids, obviously out of wedlock, to various women. One of those kids apparently was raised by a feminist, and that kid's name was Cooper, and he decided to take the magazine in a completely different direction than Hugh, almost trashing the brand forever. The damage that's been done may not even be reversible. Cooper eventually left the company in 2019, and an editorial team of 2 women and a gay man, all under the age of 32, took over the magazine with a mission to make Playboy more progressive. This is what we're talking about when we say things were created by people that had a lived experience, that actually lived out in the world, that had lived an interesting life, that understood how human nature and especially how men work. You know, when you look at the brands of Marvel, when you look at the brand of Disney, which was family-oriented, if not so much men-oriented, you look at the brands of Star Wars, you look at the brands of Playboy, they let people in that we've been gatekeeping to keep out. And once you do that, they take it over and make the product about themselves rather than the target audience. That's why all of them are failing or have failed. In this case, they decided to let 2 women and a gay dude come in, all under the age of 32, to take over the magazine, and it completely destroyed the brand that had existed for almost 70 years in just a mere matter of 5 years. The spicy photos were officially canceled, and celebrity pictorials, including stars like Lizzo and non-binary pop star Halsey, were basically taking over the cover. Playboy bunnies were retired to brand ambassadors, while Playmates were referred to as September Playmate instead of Miss September to make things less gendered. The magazine also started featuring male models, with influencer Bateman Rock becoming the Playboy's first ever gay male cover star, and Ezra Miller, etc., etc., etc. Needless, I won't subject you to all the things they did. But they even had on Pete Buttigieg, or Booty Judge, or Booty Butt, whatever his name is, which is highly political. As many predicted, Playboy's new direction was a dud, and the print magazine ceased publication within a year. Now, Playboy is in the midst of making a major comeback with a focus on returning to its raunchy roots. Instead of the LGHD TV Playmates, dudes that are women basically, the magazine's first print issue in 5 years features American model Jillian Nation and a fully spicy spread. I would say that's a return to normalcy. The 27-year-old was born and raised in rural Montana, and her pictorial was shot outdoors on a farm with a cowgirl theme to reflect her upbringing. Instead of preaching her political views in the accompanying interview, Nation discussed being homeschooled and shared her love of masculine men. "I like a masculine guy. I'm very feminine, so I appreciate the contrast," she said. I have a feeling they're trying to pull a Bud Light rebrand. As you guys know, Bud Light came out, they chastised the fratty college dudes, they had Dylan Mulvaney take over the brand, and everything tanked. And here, years later, despite the efforts of Donald Trump and Kid Rock, who else? Dana White from the UFC, MMA, those are all masculine people trying to basically revive the Bud brand because they were given literal assloads of money to do so. Well, you notice the minute that they say, we're not making money anymore, we've got to sell this product again, who should we target? They target masculine men. Here you've got a rural Montana woman who's very pretty, not talking about politics or anything, but they're on a farm doing a cowgirl themed shoot, right? They're going back to the trope, and an accurate trope, I'd say, of what a masculine man is. But here's the question. Did they fire the producers? Did they fire these photographers? Did they fire the writers that are woke? I bet you they didn't. What this is, instead of having men, real men, come back and publish the magazine for other real men, I have a feeling that it's probably the woke pretending to know what men like and then putting that forward. Now, you can say, well, then nature's not healing, it's faking. Guys will be able to tell the truth, whether this is a real rebrand or it's all fakery. But it is nature healing. And what I mean by that is the fact that they may be getting woke photographers, woke writers, woke publishers, woke directors to pretend to be understanding of a conservative man and to put out content that they think actual real men with masculinity will like. That's making them bow down and admit defeat and give us what we want. So whether the brand succeeds or not, the fact is that they're having to return to what most men would actually like, whether real or pretend, and they're actually bowing down and giving in to what men want. That's a return to normalcy. That is nature healing. That is men winning. Meanwhile, the breathtakingly beautiful Lori Harvey, daughter of comedian Steve Harvey, is cheekily branded America's hottest Nepo baby in a sizzling lingerie cover shoot. Outside of these pictorials, Playboy's also pushing the envelope with its articles. So they're bringing back the articles as well, which I think is a good thing. Instead of catching up with the latest non-binary social media star, the new issue's celebrity interviews are country singer Eric Church and comedian Nikki Glaser, who is hot off the heels of her show-stopping Golden Globes hosting gig, where she, of course, made fun of Hollywood and the woke celebrities there. Perhaps the most surprising of all is a repurposed 1990 interview with Donald Trump, which is presented without endorsement nor condemnation of the controversial president, something that would have been unfathomable during Playboy's woke era. Plugging the reimagined Playboy, the magazine promises an unforgettable mix of cutting-edge content, bold storytelling, and unparalleled cultural insight. This edition brings back everything that made Playboy a cultural icon while introducing a fresh perspective that resonates with today's world. I have thoughts on this. There's two ways we could look at this. I mentioned them just a moment ago, but I want to expand on that a little bit. There's two ways we can look at this, but both are a win for men, masculinity. It's against the woke. It's against the LGHD-TV. It's against the fatties. It's all against all of that. This is fake. In other words, the people that are putting this content out now, they're still woke. They still believe all the things they want, but they're putting out the interview with Donald Trump, and they're putting models out there with spicy content that are beautiful, and these are conservative women that like masculinity and masculine men. That's the first thing. That is a win, because it's forcing them to go against what they want to put out there, because what they put out there failed. And so they're having to return back to normalcy. Nature is healing. They're having to say, I hate this crap, but our magazine was failed. We were going to go bankrupt. We weren't going to exist anymore. We now have to give men what they want. We now have to return back to normal stuff. That is us winning. Number two, they've trashed the former photographers. They've gotten rid of the woke people. They've actually got people in there that understand what men want. Probably these are real women and real masculine men that understand it, and they're going to start putting out good content again. That is also a win. I think whichever way you decide to look at this, whether you believe it's real or not, or they're just pretending, it doesn't matter. They had to bow down to men and masculinity. They had to republish. Can you imagine if they still are woke? Can you imagine how much it must have boiled their blood to say, let's put this Donald Trump interview out there again. We won't comment on it. We won't say that he's good or bad. We'll just put it out there because that's what the people want. Do you know their TDS that meter must have been pegging 13, and yet they still did it. I don't know which way you guys want to look at this. Me personally, I don't even care. I don't care if it's woke people there that are bending their knee and getting down on their knees to cry and sob and say, please buy our product again. Masculine men, keep paying our paychecks. I don't think it's that. But even if it is, they're bowing to our demands because we boycotted it and left an iconic brand that was almost 70 years old. We just walked away. Or the second is they really regret it. They realize their mistakes and they're coming back to normalcy. Either way, I think this is a win. I don't know what you guys think. I'm pretty excited about it, but we'll see. Time will tell. We'll see how much longer this goes and see if they start bringing back good interviews with interesting people that aren't woke and they bring things back to normalcy.